the day I got arrested. My ex-boyfriend. We was together, but his girlfriend, she finally came down, and I thought he was trying to blow me off to the side like I was nothing. So I told her everything that was going on. He tried to act like he didn't care, but then she told me that he was going to come after me for that. 2 months later, I still paid no mind to it. I left my grandmother's house, stayed somewhere else, and when I came back, I was with my daughter at the time. He saw me, threw me up against the wall, and threw me to the floor. And he started screaming at everybody, "She gave me HIV! She gave me HIV!" Just to kind of justify why he hit me, because he didn't want it to look like a man just beating up a woman. I had to get stitches on my lip, and I had 2 cracked teeth. They had to give me caps for them. It was terrible. Called the cops, you know, and they couldn't find him and stuff like that. They finally caught up with him. He tried to get me to drop the charges, and I wouldn't do it. So his girlfriend lied and said I beat her up. So then they were looking for me too. But then he came and tried to stab me with a knife. So it's like he sliced me. He sliced me here, he sliced me here, and this finger doesn't really bend like that, more like this from the knife. So I kind of kicked him where it hurts, and when he went down, I stabbed him right here and right here. The knife went half in, and the knife was like, I called police and waited for them. But I went to jail for assault in the 2nd and 3rd. And it could have been attempted murder because it was above the waist, but because they saw the circumstances, it was kind of like self-defense. So they bring it down 1.5 years. So I did 15 months, came out January of this year. So you know, kind of still in shock. I'm home.
I don't know how this is supposed to feel, but I think my water broke. I don't know why, but I was just like, and they were like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "I don't know." So I'm like, I'm not going anywhere until he gets here. So I call him, and he came. I call my mother. My mother's a nurse, and she's like, "Go now, get an ambulance." Well, one time I went to the hospital because I was having pains, and we got the bill, and it was like $700. And I was like, I could have took a cab. It was only 10 blocks. I lived on 121st Street, and the hospital was at like 135th Street. I was like, wait a minute, $700? We're not going in an ambulance again. So we wound up walking to the hospital. We stopped at Burger King. At this time, it was 2003, and they had the slushy and the milkshake mix, icy, and I was in love with those my whole pregnancy. And I wanted one of those so bad. So I went and I got the milkshake, and then I had to go to McDonald's and get the French fries. No, I got the onion ring. So I get to the hospital at probably around 2. I'm not dilating, so I'm there waiting. I hate hospitals because that's where people die at. Now it's like 7 o'clock, and they gave me medicine to make the contractions come. I mean, it was like death. I was screaming and hollering and I'm pushing, and they're telling me, don't push, the baby can get stuck, something can happen. And I was like, I can't help it, I'm sorry. And my son's father's like, what are you sorry for? And I'm saying I'm sorry because they're telling me not to push and I can't help it, it's there, what do you want me to do? And I was trying to get up off the bed, I had to use the bathroom. They want me to use the pan. I'm not using the pan. I have to do number 2. Please take me. I have to get on the toilet. I didn't have him till 12:20 a.m. And no, I didn't get no epidurals. Natural birth. Yeah.
Grandma don't understand no English, but she knows how to curse in English. She's been in those projects for 50 years. Left Puerto Rico and came down here. Although she's kind of a racist. Like all the kids in the neighborhood when we were growing up and stuff, they all thought we was black. We always try to be down and be black and stuff like that. And she'll come in the window. "Que sienta, sube!" And then my friends was like, "I thought you was black." And I said, "I am." And I used to, you know, tell her, "I hate my last name." Because everybody used to make fun of me. Call me Vanilla or something. It was terrible. And I was just like, oh God. Embarrassing. She doesn't like black people. All my friends hate her in the projects. They're like, "Your grandma's so racist." She calls them monkeys. "Oh, I saw you outside with the monkeys." And you know, I'm just like, "Grandma, like, you look as dark as I am. How can you say that?"
I was hanging out with some guys and I was like, I want to get a gun. Something small and cute. I could put in my purse, you know, and keep on me. And they were all laughing like, "What? What you want to get a gun for? Yeah, you ain't gonna do nothing. You don't need no gun." And I'm like, I'm serious. We're all smoking weed and laughing and joking, and they're like, "No!" And I'm like, I'm so serious. And I had $600. And they were like, "Oh, you really serious?" So they took me to a place in the Bronx, and I bought me a little .22. But I wasn't shooting it. I just had it. When I was young, I used to hang out with a lot of gang members. My street name was Beretta. That was the first gun I ever shot. We were in the Bronx. I was around 14, 15. We were up there on the roof in the projects, and there were guns, and I was just staring at them, staring at them. I had the little gun. I don't know, I just liked the way it looked. The other ones were big. This one was small. And then someone was like, "Want to try it?" And I was like, "No, yeah." We were on the roof and I was shooting it off. And they were like, "That's your name. That's what I'm going to call you because you like that one." "All right, Beretta. I see you. I see you." We were on the roof like drunk, like, yeah, you see it. I keep shooting and shooting. I was like, I like it.
I took 2 people with me. The guy I was seeing and his best friend. His best friend went in with me. He was going to hold her to the side, just grab her, and he pulled her while I ran in and got the money and jewelry. I threw him something to tie her up with so she couldn't get to the phone, and we left. From what they tell me, they wanted to show me pictures after I was arrested, but I would not look at them. Apparently, he had sort of like hog-tied her or something, and he put a gag in her mouth, a scarf. She died from asphyxiation. I don't know, I was in the car. I left maybe 3 to 4 minutes before him. I was sentenced to 15 to life. She died. Yeah. And for a lot of years, you know, I couldn't say who she was. I always called her the victim or my victim. I couldn't say she was my aunt.